hyphy movement is just a lot of Bay Area artists coining their genre of music. You know, I'm giving it a name. So when you say hyphy, people out of the state like, oh, hyphy, that's from the Bay Area. You know, it just gives us our identification.
You can rap and they be like, damn, man, girl, the way he rapping, you know what I'm saying? The way he sound is different, you know what I'm saying? He sounds sporadic, he sounds excited, man. That could be hype.
I mean, hyphy was like, man, that man is, you know, hyphy. Like, wow. You know, he really didn't really listen to what people had to say. He was doing him.
Basically just, you know, a hyper energy, hype, hyphy, hyper.
The Black Panthers was hypey. You know what I'm saying? The hippies was hypey.
Hype, quote unquote, the hyphy.
Producers like Kyrie and Tone Capone had a lot to do with, and Trackademics had a lot to do with shaping the sound. People got to take that into account. This is a sound.
Before it was called the hyphy movement, you basically had hyphy street culture. You know, people in the streets who participated in hyphy street culture, they made songs. And they came up to the Friday Night Vibe with it. Mid and late 90s, a lot of things happened in Bay Area hip-hop culture and Bay Area social culture. New laws were being passed to basically separate those. How hyphy came about is a law that prohibited cruising around an area known as Lake Merritt. You know, the clubs were shutting down earlier. The concerts weren't as thick. All of these events being taken away produced a street culture that basically shrugged its shoulders and said, now what do we do?
There's nothing to do out here in Oakland. I mean, police shuts down everything we do, all the clubs for the youth, all the parties and everything. I mean, they shut those down, so where do we go?
There were all of these situations that pushed poor youth street culture underneath the surface. And in order for it to get back up to the surface, it had to basically regenerate itself, come up with its own events, like the sideshow and the block party, come up with its own fashion styles and apparel.
Stewie bent heads.
Scrapers, you know, putting big rims on the old, you know, Delta 88s and Oldsmobiles and Park Avenues. These cars were some of the most affordable and efficient cars in the black community at the time, and we didn't have any money to get anything other than that. So we went over to Scrapers. And we did that on our own.
Rick Rock, you got another one, baby. They can't fuck with it. Come on. Rick Rock, Mr. Stress, Goldie Gold, Big Gang. You know what I'm talking about? Check me out now.
You go to the sideshow, that's where everybody's at, but everybody's going there because there's nothing for young folks to do, and that's why when the got shut down, the violence in Oakland went up.
Oakland had the #8 murder rate in the entire country, which was right behind Richmond had the #5 murder rate, which is a few freeway exits up the road.
Every day's drama, you feel me? Like, for the past 3 days, it been shooting over there and stuff like that, mainly. So, you know, I got shot, you feel me? They don't want to go through it no more.
To pass all these laws, let's criminalize these kids for basically trying to find something to do, because there is nothing to do at a certain time or hour in certain communities. I think, again, that oppressive culture, which in the end creates hyphy, and any other culture that's suppressed by an oppressor. The oppressor always wants a notice of non-responsibility. So it's like, oh, it's not me, it's hip-hop. Oh, it's not me, it was rock and roll. Oh, it's not rock and roll, it's blues. Oh, it's not blues, it's just black people in general.
Hi, I'm Oakland Mayor Ron Dellums.
And I'm Mr. Fab, a recording artist who grew up in Oakland. Spent most of my life here and witnessed a lot of family members and friends died of senseless acts of violence every day. A lot of the kids, they listen to me and they take heed to the words that I say. And I think that I can make a difference with just the positive influence of me being a part of something.
Fab has been somebody who I actually talked about with Silence the Violence when I first thought of the idea, and so he's just been tremendous for us, and I think that when he carries the message of Silence the Violence, a lot more people listen.
Oakland's young people have created a form of hip-hop that is now changing hip-hop. The hyphy movement is changing the art. Now it's time for Oakland's youth to produce a culture of peace to change the culture of hip-hop, and we're going to see that happen out of Oakland.
Touch up, cause a unity theme, a community thing. Boy, lay down a bang. Touch up, time for a change. Don't do the same, rearrange that thing.
It's Bay business, all my real niggas can feel this. No matter where you from, we all going through the same shit. Till niggas stop dying.
This is Cov Records right here. As you can see around you, where you're actually in the studio of Cov Records.
Cov Records is an up-and-coming independent record label that works directly with young people that are living in the communities where the violence is hitting the hardest. And the mission of Cov Records is really to, give young people the freedom of self-expression so that they can really use music as a way to foster their creativity and their leadership and as a way to overcome the violence that's happening in the communities.
We do MySpace as in promotion and getting, the music out there to the people. We do our Pro Tools right here. We also do Final Cut Pro, as in making videos.
How else can we solve a problem if we don't address it? But if we are putting it in our music, because music has a lot of power, and it's like if you get some real cats who comes from these real communities and been through real stuff to promote real music, then real gonna follow, because real recognize real. Like my brother said, he's been shot 4 times, I've been shot 2 times. And it's like, that's all over nonsense. I mean, we can promote that through our music, use our personal experiences to show that the youth, man, you ain't gotta go down this road.
I don't want to corrupt people negatively. I'd rather lead them in a positive moment, in a positive way. And that's what I do as an artist. I show up at the events. I come to the kids, to the meetings. I show them that I am a mere model of what they are and what they will soon to be as they get older. Just continue to do positive things.
Get real ignorant, getting too hyphy to get you injured.
HYPHY in 2007 has transcended race in the Bay Area. Economical background in the Bay Area. Rich kids are doing it. Rich white kids are doing it. Asians, Filipino, Pacific Islander. For a lot of these kids and people in these other communities that are outside the poor community, inner city community of color, they latched on to HYPHY because of how strong HYPHY rebelled and won against people who said Bay Area hip hop was dead. Whether you agree with HYPHY or not, it succeeded in overcoming its own circumstances.
Eastside OAK, 79 PB, and see that young name. Doughboy, the official. Doughboy in the building. Doughboy about to kill. Let's get these niggas going. I'm all you know I'm sick with. I'm always making paper on the street. Me and my crew, man, we been the shit. And I hope y'all got the message. Nobody can't fuck with me. My team, Cov Records.
I ain't fair when I jump out the ice cream truck.